Welcome to 216, a Link to the Past Randomizer podcast. I am your host, fearagent. Today, we've got an epic, huge mega draft. We are drafting video games from the last 25 years, from the year 2000 to 2025, and I've got a huge list of guests. It's the most massive show. I've seen a lot of retrospect from the last 25 years since we are hitting the first quarter of the century. A lot of online stuff is reminiscing about those last 25 years. And I thought it would be super fun to bring in a bunch of knowledgeable dudes to draft games that have come out from the last 25 years. So we're going to try to keep this as brief as possible because we've got a lot of categories. We're going to be drafting action adventure, RPG, shooter, platformer, multiplayer party, and then a wild card. And we've got 7 drafters, including myself. So let's start by introducing them. And I'm going to go in the order that they are in the Discord. So first up, Alaszun. Alaszun, welcome back to the show.
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
I always love having you on the show because, Alaszun, you have lots of opinions and you're not afraid to share them. What was the toughest category for you today when you came up with your list, especially when you just found out that it was the last 25 years and not of all time?
Probably in retrospect, probably shooter.
Yeah.
But getting caught off guard by the misreading did not help my case.
Sure. All right. So expect lots of hot takes from Alaszun coming up. Next up, we've got, I think from season 1, P-Train's back on the show. And again, P-Train, it is the last 25 years and not the last 2005. Just a reminder. But welcome back, P-Train.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I have done some last-minute scrambling to update my list. So now I am within the last 25 years. So awesome. Yeah, I think I struggled most with RPG because there's so many that I haven't played.
Yeah, that's the tough part is not having to play in them. We all are Twitch streamers at some sort of level. Most of us not making any money, but are familiar enough with Twitch where we've watched a lot of runners play. So I think that can help too. Next up, you know him, you love him. You've been on the show a million times, and whenever we draft, we got to have him on. It's Shareen. Shareen, you're back. First of all, you got Aaron Rodgers, so you're feeling good on the Steelers.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. And now you get to draft some video games.
Yeah, it's the drafting time of the year. Fantasy football season's coming up. Get some more video game drafts. Make people upset with picking some bad games. Even though I'm fully prepared for the past 25 years, unlike some other people on this voice call. I feel like I'm still going to have some pretty interesting picks.
Shareen, is it hard for you to pick games when you were only alive for about half of the ones that have been released?
Okay. Well, as we spoke many times, I've played a lot of games that are older than me. And, there's definitely some games on my list that I have not played that I've
Sure.
heard good things about. And, in terms of the discussion point, I'll leave that to people like Alaszun to, carry my argument for me. So,
all right. Coming in late, but super appreciate that you're here. TwoC, you're back on the show. Also a drafter who is, been just killing it when it comes to fantasy football. Like you destroyed us. And here we are. We're drafting again. So welcome and thanks for filling in.
Yeah, thank you for the invite. This is actually pretty hype. I'm excited to go back to memory lane in a way. I'm sure a lot of people are going to bring up some games that, I loved when I played them. So yeah, I'm very excited.
What I love that you bring also is you've played a ton of different games on stream. Usually some of them are really older. Like I remember watching you play like Die Hard from the NES and stuff, but it feels like you are what I would call a variety gamer. Like you really play it all.
I would say so, yeah. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to say Die Hard as best shooter.
Sure. I hope not.
Yeah, it's not from 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah,
that's
category.
True. Yeah.
Last 25 years. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, back on the show, we've got Walther. Walther, welcome back, man. Excited to have you on the show and excited to have you part of the draft. I know this is kind of new for you, but welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, hello. I'm here to pick good games, hopefully.
Do you have a game that you feel like is your number one pick? Like is the game that you really, really want?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, don't tell us, but we'll see where you're picking. And then finally, our final drafter, and the only reason he's final is because his name starts with Z. It's Zaph. Welcome to the show, Zaph. This is actually your second time on the show, but the first with me, man.
I'm super excited. Like I've always wanted to be a part of one of these drafts, and like would always comment. And now it's like I'm here. I also like Walter's #1 game. I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Also, someone Zaph has a lot of opinions. Not gonna lie, like you and Alaszun in the same channel. I'm a little worried.
It's fine. Like you gave us a lot of time, and like half of that is going to be Alaszun and I just nitpicking each other, and then also nitpicking Shareen. So we're good.
All right. So here we go. We got a lot of drafting to do. We need to figure out the order. So I'm going to randomize it. I'm on random.org. I'm going to hit this 3 times, and then we'll see who our first picker is. All right. Number 1 on the board is Zaph. Zaph, not only do you get to choose what Walther's first pick is, but you get to pick what your first pick is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Going second is Shareen. Shareen, you like that second pick?
Well, I have 2 games that are in my top 2, so absolutely.
All right. I will be going third. I'm very pleased about that. I think that's a nice spot. Drafting fourth is Alaszun. Alaszun, you're right in the middle, so you don't get any back-to-back picks, but you don't have to wait a ton of time, so that's pretty good. Number 5 is Walther. Walther, are you good with that spot?
Yeah, 4th would have been more fitting, but yeah, sure.
Sure, that would have worked way better. At 2C, you're at 7. Good with that spot? You like that spot?
It's maximum prep time.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's snake draft, right?
Snake draft, yes.
Oh yeah, perfect. Okay.
So yeah, you get 6 and 9. Was that right? And then P-Train, you're the last pick. You still have time to look up some more games in case you ran out of time earlier. But you do get the 7th and 8th pick, so that's got to be pretty good.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it, Zaph. What are you kicking us off with? What category and what game?
I'm going to do this, and Alaszun's going to strangle me. I'm going to take RPG. I'm going to kick this off really quick
I
and
know
fast.
exactly what you're picking.
It's going to be Claire Obscure. I'm sorry, my dude. I fell in love with this game recently. It is a game which I think has done everything to pay homage to the RPG formula and then exceed. And so I got to do it. I'm taking Claire Obscure #1 pick.
That's Expedition 33?
Expedition 33, yes.
Okay. When did this came out? This just came out this year, right?
This
came out about 2 months ago, yeah.
Yeah.
I literally just started hearing about this, and I'm like, how? Like, I didn't play it. I know nothing about it, and I'm like, is this some recency bias or something? Because I've been hearing this from everywhere, but like everyone is saying this is an amazing game.
I feel like, yeah, go ahead, Fear.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm a little surprised that the #1 overall pick is a game from the last 25 years is a game that came out, 5 months ago, 4 months ago. That's just surprising. I'm not gonna lie.
I won't lie. RPG is a category that I feel like I could probably wax poetic, starting from like this was my genre. This was my shtick. There are so many games I feel like have wanted to take the JRPG formula and either improve upon it, do something with it, break the mold, improve the mold. Very early on, it's ambitious and it does it right. And I won't go and like crap on any other games for like the point of this, but the music is gorgeous. Like a sweepingly beautiful soundtrack right off the rip. The combat is actually like, I won't say fully innovative, but again, like takes something which did exist and improves upon it. Character development, story, like I will let other people object if they want to, but like I think that hearing Alaszun grumble is like, I did a good. So
I wasn't grumbling. I actually was really happy that someone before me had to pick it because I was really undecided on how I felt about like potentially sneaking it in and early picking it. The game's real fucking good though.
I mean, it's been out for 3 months. And we've got 25 years of games. It's just crazy to pick. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm overstepping, but it's crazy to me. That's number one.
I would
No,
not.
it's a great way to start the draft. It's a great way to start the draft, Fear. Like, get it right off the bat with the criticism.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna find a sharp divide between people who have played it and people who haven't played it.
Because it's only been out for 3 months.
Okay.
I understand.
Play it.
So I watched and read with a lot of love when y'all were going off about Baldur's Gate 3. Like, and this is like to you specifically, Fear. Well, like a lot of the things you talk about in the podcast, talking about the music. I mean, like I remember talking about like the soundtrack. I think it was with Leo and them. Every feeling that like I lived vicariously through you in Baldur's Gate 3, like I feel in real time playing Expedition 33.
I get it. I 100% get it. I haven't played it, so I don't really have an opinion on it. I've heard great things about the game. It's just, to me, 25 years of gaming, and you picked a game that's been out since April. Like, that's just crazy to me. Like, unless you think that unless it's metagaming, so you don't get it because you're not picking for another, 14 picks, and you want to make sure you get it, I get it. It was a little surprising. Maybe it's just me.
RPG is also just a tough category. It's a tough category, I feel like. So
Yeah, I'm in the middle of playing Clair Obscur right now. I've done
Zaph,
like maybe.
by the way, he hasn't finished the game.
Yeah, and that's how good this game is. I'm not kidding when like I swear to God, yes, 100%.
Go ahead, Walther.
No, I was about to say I'm about like maybe 20% through of the game, and if it continues as well as it is now, I can definitely see how someone would take it as their top pick the last 25 years.
I get it.
So one of the things that I've always been fascinated by in a game is the like opening of the game and the way it like uses it to convey a story or build a world or things like that. And Clair Obscur is on my short list of games that like you go like I watched this. I had never heard of it. I watched a streamer who was playing it like the day it came out, and they got through the prologue and like, I need to stop watching because I want to play this game right now. Like the music is, the soundtrack's 8 hours long, like legitimately. Like the music is gorgeous. There's a big sweeping visual distinct world that it builds up. And like the feeling I got looking at like the game visually as it showed up, I can only think of hitting like 2 or 3 other times, and at least one of them I suspect is going to end up on my list, so I'm not going to mention them by name, but it's really, really striking to me how much this game builds a world, and then it takes this and does some like incredible building upon the actual world. And it's really fun. It's really like interesting. It's I don't think I've played a game in years that has been more obviously a labor of love than this game. Where like it's so clear somebody had a story that I want to tell this and I want to do this, and it's phenomenal. It's
again just surprising that of all of the choices from the last 25 years, a game that's been out for a few months, it was the number one pick. That's all. All right, we got to move on because we got a lot of picks. Shareen, you're up.
Okay, so one of the first things I thought when I saw this list is of categories is
Death Stranding 2. You're gonna pick Death Stranding 2?
No, I'm not.
Whatever game came out last month. Just kidding. Sorry to interrupt.
When I looked at the categories, Wild Card immediately stuck out to me in terms of all the other categories between action, adventure, RPG, shooter, platformer, multiplayer. Wild Card stuck out to me as like a MMO or esports type of category, because it's just such a big player base, like, and it doesn't fit. Some of those games do fit in other categories. So what I want to go right now is on Wildcard. I want to take League of Legends.
Wait, I was about to make a fucking joke that you were gonna draft League. Are you?
I was looking at the other monitor, fixing my picks. If we were on camera right now, dude, I just got whiplash. I'm sorry, what?
Yep.
It's crazy. Okay. I'm flabbergasted by the first 2 picks. It's crazy to me that you're using your wild card with your first pick. That's just nuts to me. Okay. League of Legends. I didn't even know you played League of Legends. Did you play League of Legends?
I have not played League of Legends.
Oh my gosh, your first pick
better off for it.
Pick. All right.
Look at this well-adjusted young man.
I have a lot of games that I want to pick for certain categories, and specifically when it came to like MMOs or MOBA or anything like that, I have not played many of them. And just thinking in the past 25 years, League stuck out to me as something, at least for the past decade, and it came out I think in 2009. But at least for the past decade, everyone knows many salty League players that are just always playing League. It's like consistently been played for the last 15 years. It's one of the highest player bases, and it's just like League of Salt. So that's why I was thinking in terms of wildcard, like I see it as one of the top games along with some other MMOs. But yeah, that's where my head's at right now.
Did anyone else have League of Legends on their list?
No.
I thought about it.
I was considering it as well because I want to defend Shareen a little bit. The impact that League has globally is huge.
Sure.
Maybe it's not really like known, perhaps like in North America. It has died out a little bit, but China, Korea, even in Europe, it's insanely big.
I think it's still like the top played PC bang game in Korea, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but
and it has been for going on 15 years or so. Like it's a type.
And a very fascinating thing is like an esports player from Korea. I think a lot of the even if you don't follow esports, Faker, it's like a very well-known name, is on commercials together with a football player from Korea who's playing in England, like the bigger clubs. So, it has like a very, very big impact, I would say, globally. So, yeah, I wouldn't really say that it's a bad pick.
My shock, I don't think is the pick. I think League of Legends.
You didn't expect it out of me.
I did not expect it from Shareen. I think that's the surprising thing. And I think I would have put it in RPG or tried to fit it into a different category and just left wildcard. That would be is it the Aaron Rodgers of video games? I don't know.
Past its prime?
I'll say this in defense of League.
Yeah.
To have that many players who are willing to engage with the League of Legends community to be able to play that game has to say something incredibly positive about the game.
Sure. I mean,
it says something.
It definitely has a lasting legacy. Like, for sure. Like, I understand. Like, I'm not surprised by the game. I think I was surprised by who picked it. And I was surprised about where it went. That's the only surprise.
I also want everybody to know that I was
huge.
That as Shareen was doing his prelude, I was actually typing in the chat of the voice chat saying, "I've heard enough. Shareen is drafting League of Legends." I just want everybody to know that I was typing that, which is why I got caught so off guard.
Sure. All right. That's your first pick. My first pick is pretty obvious if you've listened to the podcast in the last 2 years that I've done it or 3 years that I've done it. Baldur's Gate 3 for me was a game that there's a couple games that defy expectation in a way that just completely blow me away. Like I didn't really have any tie to any of the previous Baldur's Gate games. I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons guy, but because of this game, it threw me into that world. And it's just a game that totally, I've got 1,200 hours in it or something ridiculous, 1,400 hours. And it's ridiculous. The game is just so good. It's so massive, and it was if I had the number one pick, it was going to be my number one pick. So be able to get it at pick 3 feels pretty good. I am picking it in RPG. It's the game I've played the most in the last 5 years, and besides Link to the Past, I guess. And yeah, it just took me to a completely different world, and I could not get enough of it. So Baldur's Gate 3 for me was my number one pick.
It's really good. I think I have 500 hours in Baldur's Gate 3, and I still have not finished the game.
Yeah. It's just so massive. The things that it does is, again, for me, it was completely brand new, but I feel like for gamers all over, it was brand new. It's just doing so many things, and it's doing it so well. And it won all of the Game of the Year awards the year it came out. It won everything, and I think it was rightfully so. Made by a studio that really gets games too. Like Larian is one of the premier studios for sure, because it's all about the game and the people playing it. Like they didn't charge for like all the updates. They didn't do any DLC and stuff. They added so much content in the 8 patches that they released that they could have charged for. They could have been added for as DLC, and they just kept giving it to us. It was pretty sick. So that's my pick.
I really like Baldur's Gate. Like personally, the game didn't click with me. And I'm honestly like, I've been considering coming back to it for a while. I don't know what it was. Like, I think it's a wonderfully made game. It's just not the gameplay loop that I enjoy. But I really love those types of games where the engine that runs it is so complex that it rewards like lateral thinking solutions to puzzles. Like you get that a lot with Breath of the Wild, right? Where like there's one solution that like 90% of the world came up with. And then there's this one goofball that's like, oh, I'm going to try to do something completely random that nobody else thought of. And it works because the engine is just so complex that it's able to account for stuff like that. And Baldur's Gate definitely falls into that envelope. And I really respect it as a game because of that.
Yeah, the things that have happened that are still new is insane to me. Like I said, I've got all these hours in the game, and there's still things that I haven't done, and that's crazy. That's just nuts to me. All right, Alaszun, you're up. What are you gonna go? What game are you gonna go with? What category are you gonna go with?
I'm torn. I think I see one category starting to fill up, and that makes me a little more worried, even though I know I can fish something decent. And I see other... Sure, let's do this. In action-adventure, I'm going to take Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And I like I'm not even necessarily convinced that Elden Ring is like, in terms of per hour, the best Souls-like game, but it's a phenomenal game. It is a sweeping game. It is like I heard people talking about Baldur's Gate, like, oh yeah, I played 1,200 hours. Like, I know people in Elden Ring who make that look like child's play. And obviously Souls-likes are kind of either they are your jam or they are not your jam, and they are absolutely my jam. But like pretty much every single aspect of Elden Ring is at worst good, and a lot of it is great, and it's fun, and it's engaging, and there's so much diversity and so many different types of characters that you can build. And like the world is it's just a really just solid from every single level game. I that game is huge and has a lot of fans. Not surprised by that pick at all.
This would have been a meta pick, honestly. Like, genuinely, if I was like not the number one and everything else, I probably would have like snagged this just as like I want to take this. This was in my like, if I want to draft something round one that I don't fully like have convictions in, it would have been Elden Ring.
I do have convictions in it.
Right.
I think it's a really good game, but and I also just think like it's just a shining example of what games can actually be. And I mean, Then you had the DLC came out, which I think is mostly powered by how good the original game is, but like the size of the DLC was bigger than multiple, like not just like bigger than one game, like the DLC was probably bigger than multiple games put together. It's just such a massive world with so much to do and explore and learn and things. It's a fun play.
For sure. Walther, you're up. What do you got?
All right. Well, none of my top 3 picks have been picked yet, so I guess I'm gonna pick a shooter game, and I'm gonna go with Half-Life 2. I mean, obviously everyone is still waiting for the third one, but the second one, like both the first and the second one, but the first one came out before 2000, but the second one just like improved on basically all of what the first one did in like really great environmental storytelling, and then with like the Source engine getting a robust
That's
like
the huge
graphic
part.
Yeah. like the gravity system in Half-Life just made it come alive so much. Then just banger music throughout the entire game, like get a bit of horror, you get a bit of just shooting. I think it's just a very complete game.
It's the game it's the Beatles of the Source engine, right? Like there's so many games that come out of Half-Life 2 that are excellent. There's, Counter-Strike and Dave Feet and even like whatchamacallit, the Portal games and all that stuff built off the Source engine that was built for Half-Life 2. That game is insane. To
be fair, Counter-Strike was built off of Half-Life 1, not Half-Life 2. But
Counter-Strike Source was.
Counter-Strike Source, yes. Sorry, you said Counter-Strike, which is the only reason but yeah. I think Half-Life 2 is one of those ones on the very, very short list of best shooter of all time. And if you are drafting a game first, best X of all time is a pretty good thing to be drafting from. I don't have a lot of feelings for the game as a whole, but it's a very, very reasonable fine pick.
Yeah, I think
it was on my
really
short list as well of ones I was debating. So
TwoC, you're up. What do you got?
All right. So I'm going to go with a wild card here. I'm going to follow Shareen's steps. This is a game that is just probably one of the best games that I've played in the last few years, I would say. And that is Slay the Spire.
God damn it.
I was fairly certain that at least one person would like to pick Slay the Spire. So, I might as well just get it right from the get-go. It's just the best roguelike deck builder that exists. And basically a lot of other, indie companies and indie devs just got inspired by the game, and they tried to and they brought some very good games, don't get me wrong. It's just nothing hits Slay the Spire. Very simple mechanics, after each battle you get a card, or there's a lot of complexity, a lot of strategy. It's just a very, very fun game. I don't know what else to say.
I thought I was
I
gonna
haven't played
this. I thought so bad I was gonna be able to sneak this game. No,
I'm sorry,
dude.
Zaph, what does your Discord badge say right now? How sneaky did you think you were being?
I look at this list of gamers and I did not think for a second that Slay the Spire was going to be amongst them. And then 2C shows up and ruins my fantasy football. That's it. I'm out.
So I'm the wild card basically of this draft, as I was brought
Yes.
20 minutes ago. But yeah, I think this, you got Elden Ring, which was definitely my favorite action adventure, and Baldur's Gate 3 as my best RPG. Might as well just grab the best game that I played, I think, the last few years. Slay the Spire.
Cool. Love good wild cards.
Fucking fun game, man. Slay the Spire's real good.
P-Train, you got 2 picks. What are we gonna do?
Okay, so first I just kind of want to justify my picks a little bit. My mentality.
I love the start of a pick with the justification.
I think they're going to be reasonable, but for me it was all about the impact the game had on the industry, right? I want games that changed the industry, which is why my jaw was kind of on the floor too, and we're picking games that came out 2 months ago. So for my first pick, I'm going to go with the shooter, and I'm going to go with Halo. Halo 1. Combat Evolved.
I would have gone with Halo 2, but yeah, Halo's
so
awesome.
Yeah, for me, I feel like Halo really set the standard though. Halo 2's multiplayer is legendary, but for me, Halo 1, it has a bit of nostalgia for me. It was the first twin stick shooter I had ever played. The soundtrack was amazing. I remember my friends and I staying up all night to beat the campaign. The moment where you meet the Flood is such an insane moment in the game. The soundtrack was ridiculous, and I honestly feel like it changed first-person shooters going forward. And you can argue Halo 2 had a similar effect, but for me, just Halo 1. Halo 2 came out right when I was graduating and starting to go to college. So I didn't really play Halo 2 a whole lot, but Halo 1, my gosh, all the customizations you could do with the multiplayer game. You could play rockets, King of the Hill, all kinds of stuff, man. Multiple sleepless nights playing Halo with my friends.
Story was fun too.
Yeah, story was excellent. I mean, you had great cinematics, you had great voice acting. I mean, it was just wonderful. It was like borderline perfect game for me. Like if I could go back and remake Halo, I don't know what I would have changed to make it a better game. So then my next pick,
Taking Halo 2 as your multiplayer game?
my next pick is actually going to be an RPG. I'm going to take Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Hey, you! Finally awake.
So I feel like, even people that maybe weren't into RPGs, Skyrim was very accessible for a lot of people. It was broken in many ways that actually kind of added to the charm of the game. I mean, it dominated internet culture. Fushroda, becoming a meme, the opening scene of Skyrim becoming a meme, even going as far like Key and Peele did a sketch on like the ultimate anniversary Skyrim edition where you played over Alexa. It's just, and people are still buying the game today. So I can't, for me, I've put countless hours into Skyrim. I love it. It has depth, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. I feel like it's very accessible to the average person. I think it's a great game.
You literally said that. I just typed in the chat. I had a flashback of like every Fustrada meme, like just in a very quick mental montage. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you compare like Skyrim to Baldur's Gate 3. Like I do think Baldur's Gate 3 is excellent. I do think it's an excellent game. It's wonderful. It deserves all the accolades that it's earned. But you have to admit, like for an average gamer who like isn't into that type of game, it asks a lot of the player to even be able to like play the game. Like there are a lot of systems
that's the
that you have to
D&D
understand.
underlying system though. Like that's more D&D than it is Baldur's Gate.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still part of that ecosystem, right? Like to enter the game, you have to accept these rules and constraints, and you have to understand how all this stuff works. And Skyrim, despite it being an RPG, you can equip things, there are stats. I feel like it does a really good job of balancing that complexity in a way that's accessible for people who may not play RPGs regularly.
That would be like my biggest sort of like, I completely agree. And I think of people that I know that weren't RPG fans and then have like 1,000 hours into Skyrim plus minus like random silly mods. Like the longevity of the game kind of speaks like just to how impactful it was. So yeah.
P-Train, which release of Skyrim are you taking?
Oh my God. The toast.
The Switch version.
I mean, I played it originally. I felt like on one of the Xboxes, but yeah, I mean, I have it on the Switch, and yeah, that's how I mainly play it these days.
I'm taking the Samsung fridge version.
That's what I was going to take.
All right, TwoC, you're back up. What do you got?
Yeah, this is tough. I wish I had a little bit more
RPG's
time
drying
to
up
think.
really fast, by the way.
Yeah, I think I'll go with action adventure. And, my game of the year of 2016, and that's Witcher 3. I think when you think about action adventure, is that, you want to go into the world and just be immersed in a way, right? And just, you play the game and then eventually you're like, oh, I played for 4 hours and didn't even realize kind of deal. You were on the actual adventure. I think Witcher did this perfectly. Especially, I mean, there were quite a few games, I would say, that they were pretty good around that time, but maybe there was perhaps like a 5-year drought that, there wasn't anything going on in that genre. And then Witcher came and just, everyone was just blown away by how good it is. And in a way, it built CRPGs. CD Projekt Red, the studio who made Witcher 3, their reputation skyrocketed big time. That when they made Cyberpunk, everyone was disappointed that it wasn't really up to par to like Witcher 3. So it had like a very, very big impact, I would say, around that time. And the genre of action of an adventure game was, I think, how can I say, like a lot of people were hyped about games like that again.
Is it the best of the Witcher series?
Yes.
By far. Don't play Witcher 1. I mean, maybe if you want to suffer through Witcher 1, but yeah,
Witcher 3 is definitely the witchest of the Witcher series.
Okay. All right, Walther, you got your second pick.
Yeah. Well, RPG is starting to fill out, so I'm gonna take my pick there as well. I'm gonna go with Baldur's Gate 2.5, also more commonly known as Dragon Age Origins from 2009. It's from the developers who did Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. It's really like, if you like Baldur's Gate 3, then Dragon Age Origins is definitely like it's in the same spirit as Baldur's Gate 3. That it's very immersive. You can really, it's like a mix of Lord of the Rings compared with like Song of Ice and Fire, like in between there, where you have the high fantasy, but you also have the like the politics and the subversive nature of the story. And I think just Dragon Age overall, like it's probably my favorite game series, and that game just kicked it off really well. You have like 7 distinct intros, which are like 1 to 2 hours long, which really highlights like the replayability of the game as well.
Did BioWare make these?
Yes, it's Dragon Age Origins. The Baldur's Gate 2.5 was just a joke.
Oh.
Yeah, I will say when Dragon Age Origins came out, it was just like the only thing I wanted to play at that point. Like, you know, by far one of like the better games that I played at that year, and something that, you know, I was a little bit disappointed with when the other games came out, how they were not Dragon Age Origins based. Like by far the best of the series.
So it's not an actual it's not a Baldur's Gate game, but it's built on the same sort of
it's
system.
From the same developers who made the first Baldur's Gate, but they wanted to make their own like rich fantasy world instead of doing the D&D world. They put in a lot of time because the lore is like super expensive, which really makes the world feel like it comes alive.
Gotcha.
I just want to say, from a meta perspective, I think it's actually really, really interesting, the like RPG spread we've gotten, because I feel like generally JRPGs are a little more well considered than Western RPGs, and yet we're sitting here and I'd say 3 of the 4 RPGs that have been picked are Western RPGs, and 1 at most is a JRPG, depending on how you class Clair Obscur. I do think it falls more towards that category.
Well, you're up next. Are you going to change that?
I'm not, because I have 2 RPGs right now that I have even, and so I'm hoping that someone will pick one of them so I don't have to choose. Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna go multiplayer party and take go for first off the board here. I'm taking Super Smash Bros. Melee. Which is just kind of the almost unequivocal like best game in the genre, and it's not particularly close, of like that kind of 3D fighting game. I cannot tell you how many hours of my life I have spent playing this game with friends, and just like I think like couch co-op and like couch PvP is a thing that's kind of really fallen off over the last like 10 years or so. I think this is the best version of this that we've seen, certainly in the last 25 years. The only other game I can even think of that rivals it, to me, for that experience is GoldenEye, which does not fall in the last 25 years.
Melee is considered like the best of the Smash Brothers series, right?
Yeah, no, it's not even close.
Surprised you didn't. Did you not consider Ultimate at all?
I don't think Ultimate is as good. I don't think Ultimate is as well considered as Melee. It's newer, but I don't think it's better. Like there's a reason like all the like fighting game tournaments are on Melee.
Yeah,
I'm not a big Smash 64 for me, but I haven't played a lot of Melee. All right, I guess it's my choice then. All right, I'm gonna take the first platformer, and I'm gonna take Super Mario Odyssey, which has legs that is still going. The fact that the Switch 2 is launched and we don't have a 3D Mario follow-up even announced yet is pretty crazy. Super Mario Odyssey was so good. It took everything about Mario 64, which I loved, and Mario Galaxy, which I thought was awesome as well, and smashed it all into one amazing platformer. I think the things that you can do in Odyssey are spectacular. I thought Cappy might have been like like Flood in a way, where it's like too gimmicky, and it turns out I was completely wrong. And Cappy's an integral part of what makes Odyssey great. The worlds, the levels, the graphics, all of it. Odyssey is like primo Mario, 3D Mario to me. So that's going to be my choice for platformer.
No, I love how like
It's a good pick.
even after Odyssey was like kind of said and done, they came out with Luigi's Balloon World, which kind of gave players their own, like you can make your own star now. You can make your own challenge. And I thought that was really clever. And then even beyond that, the mod scene for Super Mario Odyssey has gotten really nuts. Like they've done some really cool stuff with the game.
Yeah, the core of the game, what makes it run is awesome. It's just the controls are so buttery smooth, and the way the jumps and like comboing things together works just super cool. It's a really cool speed run to watch and even to learn a little bit. And I love it quite a bit.
Congratulations for drafting Super Mario Odyssey. You have gotten the moon.
Thank you. All right, Shareen, what are you going with?
I mean, I picked and then 10 million RPG games disappeared. So I guess probably just got to leave that for a while now. I was actually really considering taking Super Mario Odyssey, and I was thinking when I was going through the platformer category, I was thinking that there's a lot
I thought about it on my last pick.
Yeah, there's a lot of other platformers that I know I could probably pick that would make some people very upset, because I know there's some platformers out there that people feel strongly about. But I think I'm going to take in platformer. I want to take Super Mario Maker 2. I just think that in terms of like that community, like the Super Mario World kind of community, it's a game that's driven basically exclusively by the player base, and everything that's gone into it, and like the creativity that comes out of it, and the history of just the ROM hacking and everything that comes from that game, I think is just literally the definition of platforming. And that
would have been my second pick for a platformer, by the way. I love that game so much.
Yeah, it just stuck out to me as just definitionally, and I've had so much fun playing that game. Versus you can like course design. I've got a lot of hours into that game, so I feel very happy with that pick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that pick. It takes everything about Mario, amplifies it in a way that the community gets to be a part of it, and I think that is just super cool. And everything that's come from it with all the ROM hacking, like especially with the Super Mario World ROM hacking, they were doing that before Mario Maker, but it really exploded after a lot of the streamers played Super Mario Maker and then moved on to Super Mario World ROM hacking. But it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it exploded the popularity and got so many people at like it made it very accessible. And I think that was a big part of it. Like you said, the ROM hacking and Mario World community existed for a long time, but I think Mario Maker just got so many people into it just because you could pick up the game and play anyone's levels.
I think one of my favorite things about Mario Maker is, and obviously is, speaking of the ROM hacking or whatever, the level design, but like seeing the GDQ runs with the relays for Mario Maker. Like I wasn't huge on this, and then I was like, holy moly, this is so cool. And like the crazy tech that goes into it and everything else, like it's so fun as an observer. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Consistently the best part of GDQ, in my opinion, and I don't think it's close, are those relays.
Yeah, I think they're still going on. I think GDQ just started today, and they're I still think that there's going to be a relay.
It's Friday afternoon.
Zaph, you're up. You've had to wait a long time.
So I got to pick, or I'm going to argue second. I'm going to take the P-Train strategy, but I'm going to do action adventure first. And TwoC spooked me, man. Getting my wild card pick out there, and I have no idea. And he actually almost got me again when he's like, I'm going to take action adventure. I'm like, if TwoC's just shadowing my whole damn draft, I'm going to take Hades for my action adventure game. I maybe prematurely on this game, but also it was one that I had so much fun with in like the recency explosion, a lot of like roguelike games. Hades is one that I've had so much fun playing over and over and over again. It will probably be no secret that a lot of my games have a musical component to them, and there's a lot of the music in Hades that I just completely vibe with, like the very first time you see certain things, including the namesake boss. And yeah, I wanted to grab this before someone potentially like yoinked it.
As a Greek, I approve of that pick.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's good that you picked it because I was thinking about Hades on one other game for action adventure.
Really fucking good game.
Yeah, I was terrified
Game
when
pisses excellence.
I was so terrified when TwoC was like, I'm taking action adventure from like, and he said like 20 something, and like I had this sort of like just completely like in and out 30,000 like the 1,000 yard stare.
Not that I've played like every roguelike there is, but I played quite a few of them, and I feel like Hades probably had the best narrative for like the rogue loop. You know, like the reason why you keep going back into the dungeon. I really like the narrative explanation behind that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what Ray said. And, you know, I'm really trying to think last minute now what is like a better hack and slash type roguelike. And I can't really think of anything else. So, you know, probably like definitely like up there, top 3 for sure on that genre. Maybe the best of it.
Has the sequel come out yet?
Yes, it is
Not
in early
fully.
access.
It's an
So,
It may or may not be even better than the first, but like the early access has been a ton of fun. Like I've put in God knows how many hours into it already, and it's also really good, unsurprisingly.
nice. What's your second pick?
All right, so this one I might get a little bit of like hate for. It did win a best platformer award at one point, so I'm gonna just like do this. It's my bloody avatar on Discord. I'm stealing Hollow Knight for platformer.
I was this close to saying it. I figured it would make you very upset.
I thought about stealing it too, honestly.
It was on my list, but I just
Why would you get flagged for that one? I feel like that's a pretty huge game. Like,
So-
that seems.
Okay, so I struggled sometimes with some of the categories we have, and there is definitely a world where like if you look at people define like Metroidvania and so that genre, like it could probably easily straddle the line between like action adventure-ish and platformer. And that's kind of
I think
why
both. Yeah, I think both.
Yeah.
I think it's both.
Yeah, and so that was why I was like, if people are going to, like, I'm willing to sit here and get. I didn't really feel like it would be super contentious, and I had like if someone like really fought me on it, I was gonna pick something else. But yeah,
So basically, you lost Slay the Spire, and you had to take it. There was no other
Dude.
choice.
Holy moly!
All right, Shareen, you're back up. What do you got?
I think I'm gonna pivot a little bit just because of how the board is shaking out. Part of the reason I picked League first in Wildcard is because I really wanted the multiplayer to be like more of a party game, and I was heavily considering like Smash Ultimate. But seeing that Melee is already picked, I don't want to get into a Smash Bros debate. So I'm gonna pick under multiplayer party. I'm gonna take Mario Party 3. Came out in 2001, and
Why 3?
I think that why 3?
Yeah, why
I think
3 instead of any of the sequels?
because I think 3 for me specifically was like where the series really took off. I think a lot of people who've played all the Mario parties say Mario Party 1 is trash, and Mario Party 2 was better, but the item system still wasn't great, and they were still figuring things out. It also was before 2000, conveniently. And 3 was at the end of the era, and it was I think it's not universal because there's a lot of games to choose from, but it's among the highest rated Mario parties out there. It's my favorite in terms of the board design. It has, in my opinion, the best items. It's got some great mini games. It's just an all-around great Mario Party. I think the Mario Party series is fantastic. Out of every game I could think of, I'm a big multiplayer person. I can't even tell you how many hours I've sunk into playing different Mario parties. Like it is I can't even. So yeah, Mario Party 3 was one of those games that I know, Fear, you're going to give me flack for this, but I kind of grew up on it, even though we were born at like the same time.
No,
So
totally, I get it.
I'll just go like Matt Damon, where he like ages really suddenly.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little surprised by 3. I thought maybe 4 might have been your favorite, or Jamboree.
I'm not Megawatt.
I actually agree with 3 for what it's worth. I think 3 is the, like, if I'm picking a definitive Mario Party game as like this is the genre, I pick 3 personally. So I don't think Shareen's crazy for this.
I just remember a Chicago trip, and everyone really loved 3, and suddenly 4 and 5 happened, and everyone was like passing out, falling asleep. So,
all right. I'm next. I'm going to take Breath of the Wild in action adventure.
Nah,
we
that's
knew it was
surprising.
coming.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah, the fact that I got it my third pick, I feel like was not unexpected with the group that is here. I know Breath of the Wild is a little contentious because it's like, why don't you just play Skyrim or one of the other many games that came before it? But for me, it was Zelda, and it drew me in, and it was my first like action adventure RPG that was open world. I'm always waiting for Nintendo to do stuff before I get into it. That's just who I am. And again, I spent so many hours. I just remember like sitting on the couch. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'll play for a couple more hours. I'll go to bed at midnight or something. And then it's like 2 a.m. And then I'm like, crap, where did like the last 6 hours go? And it was just totally immersed me. I like Tears of the Kingdom, but it feels like a worse version of Breath of the Wild, even though it can do some things that are better. And there's a lot of things that I don't like about Breath of the Wild, like the weapon system. And one thing about like Baldur's Gate that I really like is it feels like whenever you are trying to work towards something, it feels like you actually achieve something. And there's times in Breath of the Wild where you work towards something and the achievement, you're like collecting all the Koroks. It feels like almost like you wasted a little bit of time. But regardless, I still love the game. Like the game might have flaws, but I just was so immersed with it and really fell in love with that style of game because of Breath of the Wild. Late to the party, but yeah, it spoke to me. So that's my choice for action adventure.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that always like to play to the objective, right? So like you like consider something like Animal Crossing's New Horizons or whatever. That's what the Switch game was, right?
Yeah.
New Horizons. Yeah. So like for a bit, I enjoyed it because they gave you like little tasks you had to complete. But then at the end of it, it's like, all right, now just do whatever you want to do on the island. And I don't do well with those games. Like, no, I need my checklist. I need things to do. And Breath of the Wild, I felt like completely broke that for me because it was one of the first games where like sometimes having stuff to do almost annoyed me because I just loved walking around the world and just finding out what there was in it. And, you know, like eventually I got to the story, but it's the most fun I've ever had doing absolutely nothing important in a game.
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you.
I would like Breath of the Wild more. I would like Breath of the Wild more if it didn't completely subsume us getting like traditional 3D Zeldas, and then it felt like they had to make everything there. And like that, if I'm going to think of one thing that actually pisses me off about Breath of the Wild, it's that. Because I think my like long-term opinion on Breath of the Wild has consistently come out as I think it's a really well-made game. There was obviously a lot of care and attention to detail put in. Holy crap, this is not a Zelda game, which is fine for
it's
this.
It's a traditional Zelda game, yeah.
But I mean that's what it is. Like the fact that it's like being like, here's your Zelda itch for the people who really love Zelda games, and it's not. It doesn't scratch that same itch at all. It's a very well-made game. It is very pretty. There's a lot to do. Weapon durability sucks ass.
It does. It really does. It's like the biggest fault of that game is the idea that your weapons break. Even like the fact that you get the Master Sword and then it loses its charge is one of the stupidest things ever. I don't know why they felt the need to do that.
I think the durability was fine because it forces you to like. Otherwise, you would just pick the strongest weapon, only use that for the entire game. Can't force you to.
Other games do that though, right? Like why not just be rewarded with finding the best weapons of the game?
I like being challenged of like if I don't plan enough, then I'm stuck with my stick. I can see how people really dislike it.
Sure, I think the durability could work. It's just everything broke so fast.
Yeah, it probably broke too fast, that's for sure.
Let's say you got a sword you really, really liked. There's no way to like repair it or like make it so you could use it longer or anything like that. I feel like there's ways around that.
It's not just that, it actually makes me actively want to not use weapons I like.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Which is a horrid gameplay loop.
Yeah.
The thing that really like strikes me about so like in the realm of systems, durability systems, one of those things where like it's super frustrating. Like no matter whatever game exists as durability system, it's not fun. The inverse of this is a crafting system, right? Like or a repair system even, where like the better weapon you have, the more expensive it is to repair. And I think that's reasonable. And it's really like the other side of the coin. Durability systems just aren't fun. Like, and honestly, if I like had to point to one thing in particular, that's like, man, I really wish they didn't. That's it, right? And like Tears of the Kingdom, like it's way more fun because like I can just lump together some Bako Baba's goblin's femur into like half a tree and then beat ass with it. So
yeah, for sure. All right, Alaszun, you're up.
You guys are not doing a great job of helping me make my RPG pick.
Just do it.
And honestly, I'm pretty angry about it.
Just do a thing.
Sure, I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna pick a shooter, and I am going to pick BioShock.
Ooh.
Which is not necessarily a traditional shooter, and I mentioned this earlier when Zaph was talking about Clair Obscur. I am obsessed with the idea of video games as a storytelling medium, and the way that like the interactive element lets you play through stuff and discover stuff is just like such a like interesting dynamic thing for me. And there has never been a game that I have ever seen that touches it better than that like opening sequence of BioShock. And I don't, some of you probably will have played it. But for me, the like you go down, you like go down into the lighthouse and you get Andrew Ryan like monologuing libertarian bullcrap at you as you sort of scroll down and you see this sweeping underwater city with like these strange people and going through, and then you just sort of, as you go through, you are uncovering the lore of what has happened in Rapture. How did it build up that way? Like the coolness of that world and the way the world plays, not to mention arguably the single best executed plot twist in the history of video games, for the overall story mode, like just absolutely sends me. And I love this game. I love this game. I love the third game in the series does a similar thing in terms of what a good like world it creates. But there's something about the original for me that just like makes it unmatchable, and it's a high I've kind of been chasing since I have played the game.
Any other thoughts on BioShock?
This comes as no shock to me. It's like I was gonna meme that like I was wondering where you'd actually put this as a category, depending of like if someone stole one or the other from any one of your picks, in the same way that like Hollow Knight.
Flexible. It was definitely flexible for sure.
I'm not gonna harken back, but like you said something where like when we were talking about Clair Obscur, I think BioShock set the tone for like if you want cinematic, if you want storytelling, you need to like this is where the bar was set, right? Like I think a lot of our picks in respective categories, Baldur's Gate 3 sets an insanely high bar. Super Mario Odyssey sets an insanely high bar. BioShock in gameplay as well as story sets an incredible bar for what it wants to do, what it like, and what it achieves. And yeah, like it's an incredible pick.
I've never played it, so I have no real strong opinions. I've heard, positive things about it, but no real opinion on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely been on my backlist of games to play, but just haven't had the time.
All right, Walther, you feeling good about your draft so far? You got your third pick coming up. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a platformer game, and it might be a little bit out there. It's a first-person platformer game. It's Mirror's Edge from 2007 from DICE.
I have changed, just like you.
Where you're basically a parkour runner on the sleek and dystopian city just delivering messages and stuff like that. And it's momentum based and it works really well. I think they focused the entire, because it comes from DICE who are usually made games like Battlefield, but you don't need to do any gunplay. There is some gunplay, but the majority of it is just focused on the finding the fastest routes and basically just parkouring through the city. And I think with the style that they chose and the lighting, the way they did the lighting, it looks really well even today. You put it in a modern computer today and it looks fantastic still.
What's interesting about this is it's a first-person platformer, which I don't think there are a ton of that I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, not too many but it works really smoothly. It's a bit to get into, but once you get a hang of it, it works really smoothly, and they have speedrun trials and stuff like that in the game as well.
Anyone else play Mirror's Edge?
I did actually. This was one where this was a friend owned it and I played a little bit and was like, oh, this is super tempting for me to get a console in at a time when I didn't have one. And I think I remember seeing the speedrun of this way later, because it's kind of those games where it's hard to say genre defining in the same way, but it definitely set it was very good. And I think to Walter's point about the engine and everything else, that it was shockingly, it felt gritty and realistic. It felt super, I hate using the word realistic because it's the one that comes to mind now, but it played as though there was a sort of an oomph to it, there was some gravity to it and everything else. It played very well and it played very fun, and it was a phenomenal game.
Yeah, it's a first-person game, but you still see your body, your arms and legs and stuff like that, which really gets you into that more realistic feeling.
And I think in a genre which is going to be largely defined by most people having played, I mean, again, looking at the age of this group and the general list of drafters, I think the third person platformer is one that is super successful, but also Mirror's Edge is here, let me take this and flip it on its head and just parkour the hell out of it. So
yeah, I think platformers are just probably one of my favorite genres, I would say, especially 3D platformers. But Mirror's Edge, definitely, there's some other games that I have in mind that I don't want to spoil. Perhaps some people want to pick them up for other categories. But Mirror's Edge, for its time, did the best for a first person platformer. The movement in the game is insanely good. Very, very fun to execute as well. And you just generally feel you do parkour. As someone who did a little bit parkour in high school, I would say that you did get a very similar feeling. Obviously, not 101, but yeah, excellent game.
I think too, for the time, in that console, the word fluid comes to mind as well. I was shocked by how fluid it felt. So yeah.
All right, TwoC, you back up.
Yeah, this is tough because I have 4 RPGs in mind and I don't know which one to pick. So instead, I'm going to go for multiplayer, and I'm just going to pick It Takes Two. I think it classifies for that category, right?
Yes, it does. Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
I'm sorry, Zaph. It's just that I think for modern games, the couch co-op experience, is not really quite there. For most people try to get massive multiplayer games. It Takes Two is perfect for you can only play it with 2 and a very awesome story, great puzzle platforming feel to it. It's just an absolute wonderful game that when I played it with my friend, I think I was just blown away, and I would just encourage everyone who hasn't played the game to just give it a try, and then you will understand exactly what I mean by probably being one of the better co-op games out there.
I haven't played it, but I've watched people play it, and it's insane. It's a pretty crazy game.
Yeah, and there are there's a newer game as well from the same studio, same director, Split Fiction, that came out recently. I haven't tried that yet, but I've heard very good stuff about it too. So yeah, very, very fun.
You're killing Zaph's draft, by the way.
Get out of my head, Charles.
Wait, what have you not drafted yet? Okay. Gotcha. That's what I'm gonna pick the next.
Brother in
category.
Christ, man. I looked up to you. Stop dunking on me.
All right, P-Train, you've had to wait all that time, watch all these games get taken. Your farmers are still available. What are you taking for your next 2 picks?
Yeah, so this is like, I'm good for this round. I don't feel like anyone's messing me up, but I'm very nervous as to like what I should leave for my next round. I don't think anyone's going to get my wild card game. I'd be shocked if someone picks up my wild card pick. But I think I'm going to have to go with a multiplayer party game. And I'm going to take Minecraft. Just because it's so influential. Like, I mean, there are people using it for teaching college courses. I mean, you got the movie out. There's so many people have done so many different things with Minecraft. People have recreated other games in Minecraft. It's a wonderful sandbox game, co-op creativity. It's brilliantly simple and can be as complex as you want it to be. And I would really like that.
I think getting it with the pick that you got is a steal too, by the way. Like one of the biggest games of all time, pick, what was the 21st pick or something? That's pretty impressive.
And then I have to go with the platformer just because they're drying up. And I do feel like this one is likely to be picked up by someone else. My platformer will be Celeste. I think it's a wonderful platformer. I think it's, like the base game itself isn't that bad. But like if you really want to dig down and get into some of the challenges, it can be a very brutal platformer if you really want to 100% the game. And I think it's very well done. I think the physics and the engine of the game are incredibly tight. And so just a wonderful indie platformer.
It's one of those games that I haven't played, but I love watching people play it, especially the top tier players. This is one of those like GDQ runs that I really like to watch. Just watching people destroy this game while still getting destroyed. Like the game is tough and the platforming is tough, but it's like so fun to watch.
I'm kind of shocked that Celeste went as far down as it did. Maybe not. But also like, yeah, I also want to comment on the Minecraft thing. I feel like this was part of the pre-game discussion. I'm like, is this multiplayer? And you yoinked that from me. But dude,
Celeste, it was on my list. It was on my list for sure.
I 100% believe it. I was more like, the pre-game joke. Celeste is when you first do like a B-side or a C-side your first time through, after getting like 250 attempts or however long it takes you, like that feeling of elation as you like it clicks and you finally get it. So good. The theme, the music of it. I don't know if you've ever played the mod that came out for it, Strawberry Jam. No, I haven't. Gorgeous. There's like 100 people collabing on it for a mod. But yeah, such a good game.
Shareen, you ever play Celeste?
No, I've had it in my Steam library for Lord knows how long. I haven't got around to it.
Yeah. All right, 2C, you're back up. How are you going to ruin Zaph's day now?
Obviously, I'm going to pick a shooter because he hasn't picked a shooter yet.
I swear to God.
Now, I have a question. Like, this might not fit in this category, I guess, for some people. But, Mass Effect 2. Would you consider a shooter?
I would think it fits. I had Mass Effect 3 on my list.
Okay. Well,
I had it on my list as an RPG. I
think it fits on both shooter and RPG.
I think you can make the argument.
Yeah, I was gonna pick it for RPG, and then I, thought about it, and I'm like, maybe I can sneak it on shooter.
Does anyone have opinions that it shouldn't be considered a shooter?
I'm just glad you didn't pick my shooter, man. Like,
I mean, it's not a first-person shooter, but it is a third-person shooter.
I was about to say, can you deal damage in any way other than shooting things?
Technically, yeah, with abilities, but
I mean, Bioshock is a wrench simulator, so I mean, I can't really argue against someone who's doing a third person not shooting.
Yeah, I have no argument against it being a shooter.
Okay, well,
I don't either. Yeah.
similar to Dragon Age Origins, BioWare also worked on Mass Effect 2 or the Mass Effect series in general. I picked 2 specifically because I think that's where you get to interact and like develop relationship with the characters even more. And I think that's probably like the biggest part of like Mass Effect, like the world and like the characters and how much you connect with them. You get to shoot a bunch of aliens, which is very fun. Just like a very awesome game from both gameplay and narrative wise. I don't know exactly how to. I can't really think right now.
I think narrative is a good summary.
Yeah, narrative and gameplay, very very fun. It's just like definitely one of the games that or one of the series I think that I highly value. Yes, in general.
Shareen, you play Mass Effect 2?
No, I haven't played any games on this list.
Not even the ones you picked.
Yeah,
especially the ones you picked. League of Legends.
That's healthy. You have not played League of Legends.
I do not like how this draft is going right now.
I mean, you eliminated yourself on the first pick, so I get it.
Yeah.
All right, Walther, what do you got next?
I'm gonna go action adventure, and I'm gonna pick Tomb Raider, the reboot from 2013. I think this is an excellent way of like rebooting a franchise, making it a bit more realistic, but still like having some of that like magic elements into it as well. It feels very like they wanted to make it realistic, right? And you're gonna feel it when you play it, because you're gonna get like when you get hurt, you definitely like it feels. The impact really feels when you get hit, and like you can play it in multiple different kinds of ways. You can do it like a bit more stealthy, like an archer build, or you can go more like a full-on gunplay. I just think like the story they told and the way they did it was really well executed and set like the franchise. Like it gave new life into the franchise.
It also felt to me like the first time. I know the first games were on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, and they're pretty primitive, but it felt like a real Tomb Raider. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like it actually felt like maybe I didn't play some of the remasters or some of the later stuff, but for 1, 2, and 3, they were just so primitive. Not necessarily a bad way, but this one actually felt like Indiana Jones more, I guess. What I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shareen, you played Tomb Raider?
What do you think?
All right, Alaszun, you're back up.
God, you guys are doing a bad job of eliminating shit for me. All right, let's go. Oh man, I've got so many good options here too. Let's go platformer, and I am going to pick Ori and the Will o' the Wisp. Which is the second game. The original is Ori and the Blind Forest. And for those of you who play a lot of Metroidvanias, I think most people will kind of agree that the most interesting way to look at Metroidvanias is kind of understanding what are the defining movement abilities of that thing. So like for Hollow Knight, for instance, I think Mantis Claw is probably the defining movement ability in Hollow Knight. For Super Mario Odyssey, it's Cappy and the way that you can sort of bounce around, and obviously not as Metroidvania as much, but still a platformer in that sense. Ori has one of the most unique movement abilities, and the way that you can play around with it has always struck me as super cool. It's an ability called Bash. And effectively, if it's anytime you're near an enemy projectile, you can basically bounce off of the enemy projectile and redirect the enemy projectile in the process, and use that to help you sort of move along the world. And the way that you get to use it, both offensively to redirect projectiles and use them, and also like movement wise, is really, really cool. And the reason I took the second game over the first game is the first game's combat is very, very vanilla, very, very, very samey, very, very, very boring. The second game took the first game's incredible movement and actually like fitted out a real, somewhat interesting combat system on top of it, which for me has made it feel like a much better game. And like pretty much everything that I'm going to include as well, like also just has an absolutely gorgeous soundtrack. And like really lets you feel the lushness of the world that comes in, and it is just a game that's really, really near and dear to my heart.
I would also want to echo like the soundtrack of the game is exceptional. Gareth Coker is the composer. If you want to look him up on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. Visually, is amazing.
The Lumapools track in Will o' the Wisp like fills me with happiness every time I hear it. Like I use the MSU sometimes, and it's the Swamp Palace music, and I just kind of get like a nice feeling of happy as I go in.
Yeah, excellent platformer. I agree with Alaszun on that one. I was really considering too. Visually great. It has like a very cool narrative without like saying much in a way. Like you see it on your screen, like what is going on, kind of deal. And excellent platformer.
Never played it, but the look of it is awesome. Like the visuals and the graphics are stunning.
Yeah, it's got a like very unique visual identity, and it works really well for the game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's definitely one of those games, like TwoC said on one of his picks, that I think it's like, if you haven't played it, like do yourself a favor and try out some of these games, because unlike Hollow Knight, which I think has a little bit more of a like really nasty difficulty curve and can turn people off, I think that Ori is one of those games that's just like such a pleasant, wonderful game to play.
You hear that, Zaph?
Yeah.
He agrees with me.
I do.
Yeah, that was a
I'm doing my
particularly
best
fun game.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Peter, sorry. No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like that also has like a bit of an emotional like tie for me, because I want to say like it was like shadow dropped, and maybe not shadow drops, not the proper word, but like there was a Nintendo Direct. It's like, oh, BT Dub, Ori Will and the Wisp available today on like a Nintendo Direct, and I was like, holy, because I loved the first game. There was not even a rumor of the second game coming to Switch. And then all of a sudden they just dropped it, and it's like, oh yeah, you can get this like in the next hour.
I take it you like
rare
it.
for me to.
That's a wonderful game.
I'll say it's rare for me to find a game that just like is just absolutely nothing but pleasant feelings for me playing it, and I have like nothing negative I can say about it. There's nothing frustrating about it. It's just like, this is a gorgeous game. I love playing it.
Yeah, my wife loves the Ori series.
And honestly, talking about it makes me want to replay it.
What was that, Shareen?
So that's why I picked League of Legends.
Another unambiguously lovely game.
Yeah, no, there's nothing toxic that's ever come from there. All right, my choice. I'm going multiplayer. I'm taking Rock Band 2 for my pick. Maybe the best soundtrack of all games ever. Its music is so good. It took everything from Rock Band. Like I really liked Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero was a lot of fun. I think Guitar Hero 3 was probably my favorite. And then I remember when Rock Band came out, it's like, yeah, we could drums and have four people playing. It was such a cool idea. And then there was some like technical stuff with Rock Band. The first one, like some of the stuff didn't work great, but Rock Band 2 like hit it out of the park. And then I believe in the second game they added the online store downloading songs.
Yes,
and I spent way too much money on downloading all those songs. But it was so much fun. My bachelor party was literally just Rock Band 2 night. We just rocked out in front of the TV and had such a good time. I spent so much time and made so many good memories just pretending that we were in a rock band. And what's great about Rock Band and the Guitar Hero style games is the fact that you can play if you're a novice, there's an easy mode, and if you challenge yourself, you can do some really crazy expert stuff, and you can do it all together, and it was so much fun. And even like some of the story stuff I thought was kind of fun in that silly game. But as a party game, it hands down was like my go-to. Let's get some people together and some pizzas and pretend that we're in a band for a few hours.
It's a great pick.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I had Guitar Hero 3 as a backup pick for the party.
I had Rock Band 2/3. I think 3 is slightly better gameplay wise and mechanically, but the set list that you get for 2 is like unmatchable. It's so good.
Yeah, the set that you can like all that come you have to unlock is just like you don't need to buy all the extra stuff. You can. It's awesome to be able to download all those extra songs, but the 70 songs or whatever that came with the game were great.
Yeah, I'm with Walter. I remember Guitar Hero 3 more than I do Rock. I mean, not that Rock Band 2 was like I didn't like it, but Guitar Hero 3 was the one I felt like I just happened to have and spent the most time with.
So Guitar Hero 3 and Rock Band 2 were they were so good. They're so much fun. Like this is on my list, and this was a great pick.
The problem with Guitar Hero 3 is there was no drums. Like that's literally the only problem. The fact that nobody got to play drums. Playing.
And for me, it's that there's no vocals. I love doing the vocals.
Oh right, yeah, sure. That's also true.
I think an underrated thing about these type of games is the amount of music that people found out. I guess
yes.
Like they explore the music. Like I've heard so many people just listen to a song like somewhere radio or the mall somewhere, and they just say, "Oh, it's from Guitar Hero," and I'm like, "Not really, but yeah, sure."
Right. That reminds me, my kid plays Fortnite, and like they had Eminem in Fortnite, and all of a sudden he was super into Eminem. He's like the song from 8 Mile, whatever it's called, came on. He's like, Fortnite. I'm like, no, not Fortnite, but that's very similar.
I mean, to be fair though, like the fact that you just called it the song from 8 Mile and not Lose Yourself, like I just had that same visceral reaction.
Yeah. All right, Shareen, you're back up.
Take Fortnite as my next pick.
Okay.
No. This is a legitimate pick. This is bad. I
know you did pick League of Legends, but it's okay. You got the rest of the
I want to take Metroid Prime as a shooter.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's on my short list, although I had it as a platformer, but on my short list for sure. It's a good game.
Is the first one the best one? I don't know. I haven't played the Prime series.
I think so. 2 has some good things about it. 3 is I mean, there's a trilogy, so I theoretically could take trilogy. I think Metroid Prime, though, like I would say it's probably the best one. I thought I would be getting a little bit more flack for putting it in shooter, but
I think it's a shooter.
Yeah,
it's a first-person shooter. Like.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would consider a first-person shooter too.
But I actually think it's harder to justify as a platformer than it is a shooter, if I'm being honest. But I think you can easily justify them.
I think it fits in a lot of categories, but yeah, no, the Prime series is fantastic. I wasn't gonna put Prime 4 as my pick. I don't want to top Player Obscure in terms of the newer games, but yeah, no, I very much love the Prime trilogy. I played through them many times. The multiplayer on Prime 2 is kind of bad. If anyone's played Prime 2 multiplayer, it just like snowballs. Like you kill someone and then you just heal back up to full. It's really, really bad. But the story of and the main game of the Metroid Prime games are all fantastic.
Any thoughts on Prime?
I think for me, Metroid Prime is maybe the biggest video game upset of all time. Like, I don't know how many of you were actively following video games and video game development when it came out, but the development of Metroid Prime had so many red flags. Like you sit there and you go like, oh, well, they're making this iconic third-person platformer a first-person shooter. Sorry, what now? And this is especially coming off like the most recent attempt where they made the Castlevania for the N64 that everybody hates, that did a very, very similar thing. We're handing it to a new studio that's never done a game before, and it came out, and the game is fucking awesome. Like that game blew my mind. And I think most people would say that 2 is probably the better one.
Okay.
But I never am going to give somebody shit for taking the original, even if it's slightly worse, because the original obviously builds the foundation that the later games are going to have to equal or excel. And Metroid Prime is great.
2 I liked a lot, and it reminded me a lot of like what Link to the Past did with Dark World with the puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was executed really, really well. But 1 just stuck out more to me in terms of like nostalgia factor.
Yeah, if I want to add something, and I'll leave like a bomb, I guess, here, because I know the community, Link to the Past and Super Metroid. I just think Metroid Prime is the best Metroid. Either one
I
or
agree.
two. I think it's the best one, like by far in the series.
I think it is the best version of the Metroid series, and I know people who
What?
play Super Metroid are going to hunt me down with
I didn't-
pitchforks for saying that, but it's awesome.
High five, Alaszun. We're
Dear
together. on
diary.
this.
Hell yeah. Get fucked, Zaph.
I do like with Prime also. One thing I will say is I like how you will start the game and you get your suit damaged and you have all the stuff taken away from you. And there's just so much progress and growth in that game.
Yeah. All right, Zaph, get wrecked. You're
All right,
got
I'm
two
wrecked.
picks.
I got 2 picks. I kind of feel good about my draft. I mean, I feel like if you're at this point, you probably have to. So I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with it. 2C stole my original wild card, and I was kind of noodling on this for a bit. But I'm gonna take this one because I feel like, again, it's a recent game, but I think it took a lot of people in roguelike, that genre, by storm. And a lot of people played a roguelike that didn't really know it before. I'm gonna take Balatro
Oh no.
for a while.
Nice.
Son of a bitch. I thought I was going to be able to get that last pick for my wild card. I really did.
Yeah, that 5-minute loop of the same trippy shit lived rent free for far too long. I won't say I'm gonna almost undercut myself here. It's depending on how big of a deck builder fan you are, you may or may not be oh well, it's not as it got so many people into it. It was a very fun start to it. Yeah, I
I'm a bitch, man. I really thought I was going to be able to steal this one late. I thought it would go drafted and I could pick it with my last pick. You son of a bitch.
All right, well,
Perfect.
I'm
We are
shocked you
fulfilled
thought it was
now.
going to slide through the end.
Yeah, Balatro by far. It was my second choice for the wild card for sure. Excellent game. The dopamine you get when the numbers go up is just incredible.
It's so addicting. It's so addicting.
Yeah. It's what a cool concept for a game. Like just genuinely, what a really cool, really fun and refreshing concept for a game Balatro is.
I'm never going to forgive you, Zaph. Son of a bitch.
That's fine, man. I love you. I have all the
Also, in
respect.
this house, we stand the pants Joker. Thank you.
We stand the pants Joker. Again, it was one of those games that I felt was kind of a gateway to the genre. Friends that I know that didn't Slay the Spire or hadn't really thought about it played Balatro and then went to other games that.
It's not really a roguelike in the conventional sense, I feel like, but that doesn't change the fact that it's an awesome game.
Yeah, I think it's a phenomenal game for taking what is most people have played with a deck of cards, and people get the very simple concept, and it's developed in such a, it's hard to even say unique way, but in an easily understood way. And like I said, the dopamine hit where I can hear the sounds, I can picture the Joker go doot 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 doot, and just so yeah, that's my wild card.
And fuck the wall, by the way.
Amen,
Delicious.
brother.
I'm surprised, Zaph, that you didn't pick Uma Musume Pretty Derby as your wild card.
We're
No?
gonna have very strong words
Can we-
after this.
Can we not talk about horse girl gotchas? Thanks.
I have the categories I have left. So for people that aren't that don't have the draft in front of them, a visual shooter and multiplayer, just have 2 picks left, and I'm one of them. And I feel like I can probably steal with anything, but I'm gonna go a little bit more nostalgia here, and I'm gonna take Borderlands 2 for my shooter because I had a ton of fun with this when it and admittedly this was almost a game that I struggle in multiplayer because I played this multiplayer with a friend. I 100%ed this game. I played all the DLC for it. I love it. It's fun. It's kind of stupid in a way. Truthfully, it kind of maybe even cringe in some of its bits, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Is it because you love the movie so much?
Absolutely not. And that almost was the reason why I was maybe I shouldn't do this, but
It's okay, Zaph. A true fan always buys it at full price.
God bless.
Finally supplanting do you not have phones for one of the dumbest things a game studio executive has ever said.
Yeah. I really struggled about picking this versus another shooter, which I feel at this point I can just say I really wanted to go Doom 2016 again for the music, but there's something about the nostalgia factor for Borderlands 2 that I couldn't not let myself pick this game. So yeah, that's my pick.
Cool. Shareen, you feel good about your draft?
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew it. What are you gonna pick next?
Well, what were you gonna pick after me?
I gotta pick a shooter next. So
should I take a shooter again and then move
Yeah.
Metroid Prime over?
yeah, that's totally how it
Or
works.
are we actually allowed to do that? We're not, right?
No.
Okay,
That would be pretty funny. You move it over.
I actually
then-
thought about doing that. Like, oh, can I draft things that are flexible so I can like sit back and apparently I can't. Okay.
2C would move over all his picks so he can continue to draft over Zaph's picks.
One left,
Honestly,
dude.
definitely do that.
Incredible decision.
I am super indecisive about what I want to pick because I kind of want a Zelda game, but
It is nuts. There's only one Zelda game that's been taken so far.
I'm still debating on that. So I'm just going to go under RPG and I'll take Paper Mario 2.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Thousand Year Door.
I was waiting.
All RPGs were gone, so I wasn't gonna take one for a while. I'm very surprised no one's taken anything Pokemon yet. But yeah, no, Paper Mario 2. I've played that game so many times. It's a game that I've watched a million different people play. I know there's a lot of people that aren't into the Paper Mario series. Some people like Super Mario RPG. There's obviously a million other non-Mario RPGs out there, which is why, you know, I'm picking it as late as I am, but it's just a personal favorite for me. And I think for being over 20 years old, that game holds up graphically super well. It's got a great soundtrack. It's a very quirky, lighthearted adventure with a lot of humor, and it's just all around an awesome game.
Shareen, you should play Clair Obscur. If
Sorry,
you
it was
value
taking
Paper Mario
first
that much,
overall.
you should play Clair Obscur. All I'm gonna
Okay.
say, you'll see a lot of similarities in at least like the gameplay.
I'll have a lot of games on my list after this draft. Well, that might not get played for the next 25 years.
Paper Mario 2 is good. I started playing it recently, but I don't have a
Yeah, I played
huge
the
opinion
Switch
of it, but-
remake.
Yeah.
Thousand Year Door is a great game. It's an awesome, just like super fun. Not helping my problem of which RPG to draft, but it's a great game.
3 Mario games. Srini gonna get a 4th in there?
I know I'm not thrilled about it.
All right. I've been debating shooters and I don't really know which way to go. So my choices are like so the 2 games I'm debating are Counter-Strike Source and Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Return to Castle Wolfenstein is mostly because of the multiplayer. Both of these games just are very nostalgic for me. I think Counter-Strike Source is probably a better choice, like a better overall game. So I guess that's what I'll go with. I'm going to go with Counter-Strike Source. It's the reason I got my current job that I've had for, 20 years almost. And I made a ton of friends playing this game, made a lot of enemies as well. But it was my first foray into first-person shooter on a computer, because all the other first-person shooter games I'd played were a console. And so being able to control with a mouse and a keyboard just felt so freeing. And I couldn't tell you the amount of hours that I put into this game. Much like Half-Life 2, which I played after Counter-Strike Source. Controls are just great. And yeah, killing friends in as terrorists is just super fun. Counter-Strike Source had some great maps too. It was a big upgrade from 1.6. I played 1.6 after, and it was hard to go between the two. But yeah, Counter-Strike Source is my choice for shooter.
This was my favorite. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was like, I have a lot of love for CS, and I actually kind of forgot about, even though it's bloody in the name, Unreal Tournament 2K3 as like shooters, and CS was one of those like fun like college LAN party games where I was like, all right, everyone, if you've never played it before, and like the silliness you could do in that. So yeah, it did so much, and the maps were fun, like just the back and forth, like it was like a very good game, very fun game.
Yeah, it's I think one of those, like Counter-Strike in general, global offensive, 1.6 Source, whichever you want to say. I feel like there's not a single person, or at least like someone who games, who hasn't at least played, just like even a little bit, a huge shooter by far. Very big impact if, we're talking about like gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just a ton of nostalgia for me. I know Counter-Strike 2's been played a lot, but yeah, for me, it was the right game at the right time. Came out in 2004. I was probably playing it from like 2005, 2006 to like 2008, like nonstop. That's all I did. And up until then, all the other shooters were like GoldenEye, which I played a lot of, which was not draftable, and Halo that P-Train that drafted earlier. Halo and Halo 2 were huge. And so being able to go to a mouse and a keyboard was just something completely new for me at the time, and changed the gaming landscape for me completely. Like, just opened the world to so many other things. So, Shareen, you ever play Counter-Strike Source?
No comment.
All right, Alaszun, you got another pick. What do you got?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop waffling at this point. We're taking Final Fantasy X. It is the only good Final Fantasy game eligible for this list. That's a lie. I think 13's a good game, but I think of all of the like 3D Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy X has aged by far the best. It still has some things that people will find a little bit frustrating around things like random battles and stuff, but in terms of like the way the gameplay loop works, the way the game looks visually, the way the like leveling and growth system works, like it's nailed and just kind of gotten better with age. Not to mention a like incredibly ambitious story, like really, really incredible cinematography. FFX
It was also
really, really good.
It was also the first Final Fantasy that was fully voice acted.
Yep. And it was just like it wasn't as groundbreaking as a game like 7, which I think has aged very, very poorly on the whole. But it was still a like massive step up from what you've seen in terms of like the way it pushed the console and it tried to give as much power and stuff as it possibly could. And it's a really fun game. And a really, really well-made game. And if you're looking for a 3D Final Fantasy, that's usually the one that I recommend people to start with when they're interested in stuff. I think 6 is probably the best game in the series overall, but obviously was not draftable. And I think 10 holds up just as well and has aged just as well.
Was 10 released on the PS2?
Yeah, in 2001.
Wow.
In fact, I think FF10 and Super Smash Bros. Melee came out within about a month of each other. Because I remember like being super hype about both of these when I was in high school. November 21st, 2001 for Melee, and December 18th, 2001 for Final Fantasy, at least in America.
Wow. Yeah, I've never really been into Final Fantasy. The most I know about the current Magic the Gathering set that was released. That's everything that I know about Final Fantasy comes embarrassingly.
I never played them.
All right, Walther, what do you got?
7 and I gave up on 10.
Oh man.
All right, I'm gonna go for my wildcard pick, and I am gonna pick Life is Strange. From 2015. It's, if you haven't played it, it's like part high school simulator, part mystery, part like supernatural, where you play as a high school girl who can rewind time. And it's just like it's an episodic game with 5 chapters. It's a short and sweet story, like not afraid of exploring like dark subjects. I think it's just all works really well together.
I'm gonna be honest, I had never heard of this game. Anyone else familiar with Life is Strange?
I've heard of this game. This was a really fun, like watching a friend play it in Discord during the pandemic. And I love the idea of like the choices you make and then the ability to sort of like play through the multiple timelines. It's a really cool concept.
It's very choice heavy.
Yeah.
And as you can rewind, you can like explore what choices you want to go for, but without knowing what the long-term consequences will be. I think it's really well. It's probably in my top 10 list of games.
Wow, that's very cool. Anyone else here of it? Shareen, you ever play Life is Strange?
No, I actually have not. I have not heard of it.
This might be my favorite bit.
It's on my list of games that I really, really want to try. Because I've heard good things. I know it hits a similar genre to a lot of games that I really, really like, and I just have never gotten around to playing it.
Yeah, it's like I feel like if you are, for you especially, it's like the visual novel sort of like overlap.
Yeah.
Like it, yeah, and it's a phenomenal.
I'm a big visual novel style person. And I mean, like I've said before, like I'm kind of obsessed with the idea of video games as a storytelling mechanism. And so I tend to gravitate a lot to those games.
I think also harkening back to like TwoC's pick about like dialogue options and being meaningful, like it really plays on that a lot and how it influences. So it's definitely if you just kind of want to sit back and enjoy a really good story and then enjoy a really good story again and then enjoy it again, this is a good pick.
So it has replayability then to it?
Yeah, it does. But it also has like in a normal game where you would replay the entire game, like here you can replay parts of the game instantly because you can rewind. So but overall it's definitely worth playing at least twice.
Cool. 2C, you got another pick?
I'll go for RPG. Not the latest this year because I haven't played it, but I'll pick Yakuza Like a Dragon. I don't know if like the other games, like the early games, are eligible for this one. That's why I, for sure picked this one. I mean, Yakuza is like a very big series for me. I just think every game that I played has been like incredibly fun. Lots of things to do, crazy side stories. I think for the most part, you end up like doing side stories more than main story. There's like so many mini games. You learn to play Mahjong, and then eventually you go to your friends, say, "You guys want to play Mahjong?" And then they look at you weird, like, "What is this?" I just think that I want to like mention Yakuza because there's a chance like it's not going to be mentioned in this list.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Yakuza.
Yeah.
Anyone else familiar with the Yakuza series or this game in particular?
I have watched them get played. I know they are very, very well regarded. I know people that I trust have told me that they are very enjoyable. I have not gotten around to playing them myself.
I feel like I've done as much vouching for other people as I have for myself, which is kind of one of the fun things of these drafts. This is one of those games where I forget how good it is, which I know sounds like a very silly thing to say, but like when you've played a lot of a particular genre, and you're like, oh, this is one of those games where it sneaks up on you as like how good of a JRPG it is in the realm of like, we look at our picks, we have a mix of like Western and JRPG. I think this really hits. It hits in ways that I wouldn't expect, and it's a very solid. I can't remember if it won an award for best RPG or if it was like nominated in its year, but it was like very super. It's a very good game. So would recommend.
It looks like it was nominated but lost to the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Gotcha. And I've heard a lot of like good things about like the new game, Yakuza, or Like a Dragon now is they're called, Infinite Wealth. But I haven't played it, so I didn't really want to say that again for this list.
So is this a more of a traditional style RPG, or is it like turn-based? What's it like?
Turn-based, it's like a JRPG, I would say. I don't know exactly what other game I guess I would pump it to from like that came out I guess like recently. Perhaps like some of like the newer Final Fantasy games I guess have similar type of combat, I think. But it's funny because the previous 6 games in the series were all beat 'em ups.
Really?
Beat 'em ups. Beat 'em up, action beat 'em up type thing. And then Like a Dragon introduced turn-based combat, and I think they did it really, really well.
I don't know if you had a similar experience with this too. See, I guess not because you played it. Like it actually snuck up on me. I had no idea this was like an actual like turn-based RPG for the longest time because I knew the Yakuza games as beat 'em up games. Yeah. And so I just kind of assumed that it was in this beat 'em up genre, which is not usually a genre I gravitate to.
Yep. It really caught me off guard, and I was pleasantly surprised.
That's awesome. All right, T-Train, you get your final 2 picks.
Oh boy. I'll leave my wild card for last. I think that's gonna maybe cause a kerfuffle. So I'll go with action adventure. This was kind of a tough one. I feel like I'm almost breaking my own rule here because I'm going for influence, right? Like I want to pick those games that like really kind of define the genre in some way. So this isn't my pick, but I feel like the basis of what I'm going for was Grand Theft Auto 3, right? You have this 3D world and you have these missions and you have these pins on your map that show you where to go. And, once Grand Theft Auto 3 did it, you just saw all of these other games doing it. But I don't feel like Grand Theft Auto 3 like really holds up very well to like today's standards versus like Halo, where you could pop that in an Xbox right now and still have a good time with it. I don't feel like you would feel like you're losing a whole lot. So then you talk about the sequel to Grand Theft Andreas, but with that, talking about the difference between Halo and Halo 2, like, do you get Halo 2 if you don't have Halo 1? So I felt kind of the same way with Grand Theft Andreas. Like, do you really get that successful title? I'm sorry, Vice City. Do you really get that success if you don't have Grand Theft Auto 3? So I just kind of figured that instead of trying to go with the base, I would go with the game that I felt just executed the concept the best. And for me, that would actually be Red Dead Redemption 2, where you have that open world, you have these mission-based things, but there's a story that's told throughout that. And to be honest, like Red Dead Redemption 2, I love it so much. Like, even if I hadn't played the game, I feel like I could sit down and like pull up the cutscenes on YouTube and watch them front to back. Like, it's just a wonderful cinematic experience. And within that, like throughout the gameplay, they tell you so much of the story without forcing you to sit through it. Like there's this camp that you can hang out at and you can learn about all the characters, but you don't have to do that. So it's like you really can get as involved with the story as you want to. And I don't know. I think it's a wonderful game. There's so many different mini games, so many different activities. You can play the game all day, and I feel like it never gets repetitive because there's so much to do. There's so much to explore. Similar to Breath of the Wild, it's one of those games where, I just found myself playing all day, doing nothing in particular, just riding around the world and learning about the world.
I would have been surprised if Red Dead, specifically 2, didn't get picked here. I feel like if you're trying to find the best, I guess what do we have, like 40 something games in the last 25 years? It feels like Red Dead needs to be listed there somewhere for sure.
Yeah, I felt like Grand Theft Auto 3 was like really the origin of like that style gameplay, to the point where like a lot of the games that came after, like when Red Dead Redemption came out, the first one, when I saw it, my first thought was like, okay, this is like Grand Theft Auto, but in the Old West. So like anytime I see that style game, Grand Theft Auto 3 is the game that I always come back to as like, oh yeah, that was the OG for like this style gameplay. But honestly, I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2, it's like the perfection of that genre. I mean, maybe perfection's a bit of a strong word. I'm sure that there are going to be games that improve on the formula. But just of all the games I've played, I felt like Red Dead Redemption did it the best. Red Dead Redemption 2.
I think it's certainly the definitive game in that genre, if you're picking it.
Yeah.
As it stands right now.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. What are you going to go with your last pick?
Okay, so my wild card pick, I figured this was relatively safe. I'm going to go with, keep in mind, I'm going with influence. I'm going with Katamari Damacy. It was a brand new genre at the time. It was for an indie game, it was super small, but it had this wild imagination. And I feel like it spawned like this whole genre of indie games that don't really fall into any kind of genre, but they're wild, they're minimalist. It's like, what's the most we can do with a small budget, and what's the most ridiculous we can do with it? You got games like Donut County, games like I Am Bread, Untitled Goose Game, Human Fall Flat, What the Golf. Like, those are just the ones I've played that just feel like it's this ridiculous game that it felt like it was done with like a $20 budget. But I feel like Katamari Damacy was like the first that came, and it was ridiculous, and it was funny, and it was wild, and nothing else like it had ever existed before. But after it, you start to see all these like really funny, comical, bizarre indie games. And I just think Katamari Damacy laid the foundation for all of that.
This is the game where you're like rolling around the ball and it's like collecting stuff, right? Like it's super weird. Okay. I never played it. I watched
against your characterization. Sorry, go ahead, Fer.
No, go ahead. I've never played it. I've watched it be played many times. It's super
so
go ahead.
I'm going to push back against the characterization of like the game that like felt like it empowered developers to do it. I think that was actually less true and more of it let them come west a little bit more. Because I think those games have always kind of existed in Japan, and it's just really that this sort of quirky weirdness that publishers wouldn't take a risk on in Western markets suddenly became a little bit more open. Which is not to say that it's not like an important game in terms of like the way that it affected that, but I think it was more on that like east to west movement than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. All I'm saying is like from my perspective, you know, I felt like I didn't see games like the Untitled Goose Game, Human Fall Flat, What the Golf. Like, I felt like I didn't really see games of that likeness until like Katamari Damacy came around, and then it was like you said, like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a market for this, and people like it, and people enjoy it. Maybe we should give this a try, and then you just start seeing these crazy games come out, and I love it.
Cool. Any other thoughts on Katamari? Shareen, you play this one?
No. Nope.
I will hear the song name in my nightmares. Does that count?
Yeah, that does count. All right, 2C, you've got one last pick. It's a platformer. What's it going to be?
I was trying my best to think of like a multiplayer game that Zaph could think about, and I can snatch it. But you know, the only thing I could come up with was Ultimate Chicken Horse, which I'm not going to pick.
Brother in Christ.
I think I'm obligated here to pick The Messenger. Just, you know, I know like it's not probably like a very popular game out there. It's just like,
I would disagree with that. I think it's a pretty popular game. It might not be on the level of some of the other games, but it's a pretty dang popular game. Yeah.
It's just like, for me, you know, it has done so much. Even I would say being here in this call and just having very fun discussions about video games for the last 25 years. It was probably through like The Messenger, you know, I contacted like Speed Gaming and then, you know, found Link to the Past and all this stuff. So it has like a lot of like personal, you know,
connection to
like,
you.
Yeah, it just did a lot of stuff for me. I just think as a game, it's a very fun game. Platformer wise, I would say very free, very much like creative. The introduction of a mechanic that allows you to jump multiple times, not only like twice, but like if you can hit an object, you can keep jumping, and that mechanic is Cloud Step. It was very new, I would say. Not quite to the same like level as like it's not like the exact same mechanic as Ori with a projectile, but it has like a very similar thing of like more movement options, perhaps. I just like, I really found that very like fresh, and yeah, I really like the game.
Did you have the world record in this game?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where are you still on the leaderboard?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't checked in a while. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have passed me, but yeah.
Shareen, you have the world record in Messenger?
I have the world record in nothing.
I have the world record in Pandemic, the board game.
Oh, interesting. Walther, you got one more pick in multiplayer party. What are you going to go with?
Right. So would an online multiplayer shooter be able to be put on this list?
Is multiple people playing?
Yes.
Okay. I think it would qualify, yeah.
All right. Then I'm going to pick Overwatch from 2016 and forward.
Thank you for paying my
bonus. I thought you were going to pick it because I know this is a game that I know quite a bit, even on stream.
Yeah, it's a very fun game. It's changed a lot because it's a live service game from when it released to now. And it's not always been smoothly. But I think like from when it released, I think it was maybe the only like first person shooter multiplayer game that's got the Game Awards. Game of the Year, and I think it was pretty well deserved. At the moment, it like spawned a new kind of shooter game which kind of mixes the classical first-person shooter and like a bit of a MOBA abilities in the same way. Yeah, I think it's really fun. I think it still holds up today. Microsoft buying Activision probably helped a lot because Blizzard were not good at handling the game. But
I'll say, shame they killed it.
yeah, I think it's, and also with Marvel Rivals coming out, I think that actually gave Overwatch a reason to innovate more because now they have a big competitor. So I think, like, even now, like, I still play it daily. Well, maybe not daily, but like a lot, weekly still. It's just fun, and it works best when you're playing with friends.
Awesome. Alaszun, you have a wild card.
Okay, so I didn't have to decide between my two RPGs after all. I'm taking Persona 5 Royal. Which somehow snuck through this RPG list, which is kind of shocking to me, but
I was gonna say if a Persona didn't get taken by the end of this, I would have been a little surprised.
I'm not totally surprised given the list of people though, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I think Persona 5, like the Persona games as they've aged and as they've improved, and I think 5 is a better game than Metaphor Fantasia, which may as well be Persona 6. But for those of you who haven't played a Persona game, the kind of defining trait of a Persona game is the idea that the thing that represents your power is the bonds that grow with your party members in terms of like the socializing you do. And so a lot of the gameplay is about deciding, how do I want to spend my time? Who do I want to like improve my relationship with and talk through? And it's a really like neat little system that has a lot of things that you can play around with and sort of grow and get a different experience throughout the game. It's a very, very weebish game, more than I think most popular JRPGs, but like it's very frequently on best game of all time lists, certainly best RPG of all time lists that people will put together. And so I'm kind of shocked that it dropped as far as it did here. It's just a really, really good game. And the frame story is, I think, kind of a little bit ham-fisted and a little bit awkward, but on the whole, like the idea of, hey, you're meeting these like deep, different characters and growing your bond with them and using that to increase your power in combat and things like that, is a very, very cool little thing. I do technically prefer the story in Persona 4 more than I do in Persona 5, but I think the overall like gameplay loop and the way that the like social link interactions work in 5 make it the clear sort of better nominee here. Shareen, you play Persona 5?
My brother's been trying to get me to play Persona for God knows how long.
I mean, your brother's been trying to get Goomba to play League of Legends for God knows how long, so we can also...
Yeah, I've never played any of the Persona games, so I have no real opinion. I've heard of them, but that's the extent of it.
I mean, I think 4 Golden is a very, very good starting point if it's the kind of thing you're ever interested in, like dipping your feet in and seeing how it goes. But it's
you said weeb, and then I immediately tuned out. So
fair enough.
Yeah, he deafened.
Gotcha.
All right. For my last pick, I've got a wild card. I really wanted Balatro. Like, I really thought I was going to sneak that in, but it's too good of a game. I'm going to go with Wii Sports. Wii Sports carried that system for the longest time. Like, Wii Sports is the game that literally everyone played. Like, yeah, a lot of these games are for gamers and people that like video games. Grandmas and grandpas that never touched a video game before were playing bowling and tennis and golf, and kids and families would all play together. I don't know. It's not the flashiest game. It's a super simple, sports game, multiplayer game, but holy crap, it got everyone to play, and it sold tons and tons of Wiis. And I had fun. I loved bowling in Wii Sports, and I love playing tennis. It was fun. So
I like that pick.
It's a great
like you
pick.
said, like you said, everyone's played Wii Sports, and Like, I mean, I spent a lot of time being very angry with getting that introduction to the, Wii controls and getting wrecked in boxing and playing against OP computers in baseball. But I think, like you said, like everyone's played Wii Sports. I remember during COVID, there was like everyone was trying to get their hands on like a Wii, and like people were playing Wii Sports at home. Like, it's just a game universally families have played, and if you're picking up a Wii, it's coming with Wii Sports.
Yep.
I still remember my dad like being so excited to show off that like during the Wii bowling, you could throw the ball behind you and scare all of the Miis.
That's awesome. It just introduced so many people to video games. Like, sure, it was with because of the stupid remote controller, but gosh, the fact, I mean, I just remember playing with my grandma, right? Like, she never would have touched a controller, but she could bowl, and it was super fun. So
there's a part of me that like is a little bit annoyed at the Wii from the fact that it like the copycatness of the genre of the industry made people start ham-fisting motion controls into everything.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to deny like what a cultural movement and revelation the Wii was when it first came out, and all of a sudden everybody was like, oh my God, I sit there and I throw the bowling ball in. It's bowling, and this is so cool. And so, like, as somebody who's like lived through it and watched the historianness of it and like watched the like genre grow up over time, like it's hard to be too angry at this pick, even though I am beyond tired of forced motion controls.
Sure. Yeah, the Fallout is not great, but Wii Sports was awesome. That was the perfect game for the control, and maybe the only game that was good for the motion control. But all right, Shareen, last pick. It's action adventure.
Why didn't still no one take any Zelda games?
Because there's no good Zelda games between Majora's Mask and Breath of the Wild.
That's crazy.
That's a hot take.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I thought about taking Twilight Princess, but
yeah.
TP is okay. Wind Waker is okay. Skyward Sword exists.
So when I got a GameCube, I had one game, and it was the Zelda's Collector's Edition. And I played through the Wind Waker demo many times, but I thought it was garbage. But I'm gonna pick Majora's Mask. I'm shocked that no other Zelda games went. I know, I mean, imagine if you go back a few more years, someone would have taken like Ocarina of Time. But yeah. I'm one of those people that I think Majora's Mask kind of did it a little bit better. And I thought that the feeling in that game of adventure was very strong. It was literally Doom 24/7. The world is the moon's crashing. Like, everything about that game I thought was fantastic. It had very few dungeons, and there was so many side quests, and you had to decide which ones you wanted to do because you were always on a clock. And every time I played through that game, I ended up on a different side quest, and there was just so much to do with that game. So yeah, Zelda Majora's Mask, big fan.
Story-wise, I think it's the best Zelda. Like, I think it's just the most interesting from a story perspective. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's super dark, and the themes are pretty adult, and it's a really, really fun game.
I wish the camera sucked less.
It was 2000, man. It was 2000.
I know, and I do agree. Yeah, like I agree. Like, the story and the atmosphere and the world design of the game is really, really cool. I think OOT is a better game still. Like, I think just the dungeon design and the way like all the items play out works a little bit better and is a little bit more interesting. But it's A, not eligible for this draft, and B, Majora's Mask is still an excellent game. And it's a cool concept that didn't really exist. Like, this is the first game I can think of that had this sort of like cyclical, like, you have a like very limited time to do things concept, which is perhaps a thing that would be more common now, but certainly was not back then.
It was stressful too, man. Especially as a kid playing this, and you're running out of time. And you got to rewind everything. It's stressful.
And then you got to think like, what do I want to knock out again in this limited time? Because you got to redo some stuff. Yeah. You're like trying to figure it out.
I do want to point out, Shareen, that you have Majora's Mask, Paper Mario, Metroid Prime, Super Mario Maker 2, Mario Party 3. Those are all Nintendo games. And then you have League of
He's got
Legends.
the wholesome Nintendo bent,
Yeah.
and then put all of his toxicity into one category.
I love it.
Originally I was going to go a little bit of a different direction, but then everyone, took a lot of games. Like I was considering Skyrim. There was definitely some other titles there. And this draft went very different than I thought it would go.
All right, Zaph, you got the last pick.
I do. I have been struggling with what I wanted to pick for this, and Walther picked Overwatch, and honestly, I kind of feel remiss at this point if I don't do this. I'm going to take World of Warcraft for multiplayer. At this point, I was between this and Overcooked 2, and I'm like, nah, I gotta. I have such a long history with this game. It was social for me. I made so many friends with this game. I could wax poetic about it. I've talked about this for like so many people, so many places. Yeah, this is my multiplayer game. That's it.
Yeah, I had that as one of my top 2. So this tells you how I approached the draft.
I think in terms of games which go in like this, and people may or may not have played it a lot, but it was influential. And
it's insane. Yeah, absolutely influential game.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's still there and still kicking, and other than maybe 14 that there isn't really much in the way of competition is tremendously telling.
I avoided World of Warcraft
What
on
was
purpose.
the big name in MMOs when it came out? Like EverQuest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play this because I didn't want to get sucked into the world of Warcraft. Like, yeah, it's too addictive. Like, yeah.
I played a lot of this in college. I haven't played since college really, but I played a lot of it in college.
I put it down after 15 years of playing the game, and yeah, like it's love it or hate it. It like Alaszun said too, it's like it has defined a genre. It still persists. It's done the thing and done the thing well for as long as it has. So yeah, it's maybe not a party game in the sense that we got some other games on this list, but yeah, it hits multiplayer. So
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, that's the draft. Let's wrap it up. We're gonna go. Each person's going to recap their draft, and then so if you recap your draft, maybe say a game you were surprised that didn't get drafted, and then who you think won the draft that's not you. So we'll start with P Train. Recap your draft, a game you're surprised that didn't get picked, and who do you think won?
Okay, I love how you like. I was literally like, okay, thank God I'm last. I get to hear what everyone else thinks. No, I mean, Red Dead Redemption, I think, speaks for itself. I think anyone who's played it considers it like one of the best games of all time, so at least within the genre. My RPG, Skyrim, again, it's just people still buy the game today. People are still playing it years after it came out. Halo, it's just, again, that's nostalgia for me. I played it a lot growing up. Celeste, I just really enjoyed it as a platformer. Minecraft, I think, speaks for itself. People have made their entire careers out of streaming Minecraft on YouTube or recording Minecraft on YouTube. And then Katamari Damacy, which is just kind of a pet pick for me. It's opened up a whole lot of games that I really enjoy playing. As to who won the draft, it's so difficult to say because so many of the games that were picked, I feel like there's many of them I haven't played. Honestly, if I had to go with someone's games that weren't my own, I would probably go with yours, Fear.
Hell yeah.
In terms of what I enjoyed playing, like I would probably go with your set of games.
Is there a game that you were surprised that wasn't drafted?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe I've took a different approach to the draft as others. You know, talking about influential games, I'm a bit surprised that Fortnite didn't make it onto the draft in terms of influence. I feel like, love it or hate it, it's had a lot of cultural impact.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't, though. To be honest.
I mean, same. I hate the game, but it's it's been commercially successful.
Oh yeah, I know. I've got a kid who plays it all the time, nonstop. All right, TwoC.
Yeah, for my action adventure, I picked Witcher 3. For my RPG, Yakuza Like a Dragon. For my shooter, Mass Effect 2. Platformer, The Messenger. Multiplayer is the It Takes Two, and wildcard, Slay the Spire. I would say I'm glad that I picked Slay the Spire. I think it's, my favorite game the last, 10 years for sure. Definitely like top 3, maybe all time.
Wow.
Who won the draft? It's very difficult. So many good games. I would probably say Zaph. I really like the games, plus a game with Greek gods, so I gotta pick it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I'm surprised like Fallout was not in the list. I know like it's perhaps not as a lot of people don't really like, but Fallout New Vegas specifically, I think it was by far the best of the series, and it was very, very good.
The RPG category is just so stacked that I think anything falling out ended up not, pun not intended, ended up not being particularly shocking.
Yeah, true. Like another game that I was considering was Knights of the Old Republic, like a Star Wars game.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was on my list. That was on my list over any of the other BioWare games.
Nice.
It was on my list because it's like one of the few Western RPG. Well, I don't know. Like there are actually a lot of Western RPGs on the list, but I felt like Knights of the Old Republic was one of the first like Western RPGs that like really made a name for itself.
It also has probably a top 3 executed plot twist of all time in any video game. I would say just a fucking phenomenal game.
Yeah,
sweet. Walther, go on.
So my picks was Tomb Raider from 2013, Dragon Age Origins, Half-Life 2, Mirror's Edge, Overwatch, and Life is Strange. Really happy with the list. I pretty much got all of my first picks, except maybe I thought about picking Hades.
Who do you think won the draft? Besides yourself, you can't pick yourself.
Yeah, beside myself, it's hard to pick. I'm thinking like maybe Fear or TwoC, but maybe I'll let TwoC take it because he has a Swedish game on his list.
Hey,
love it. Any game that you were surprised was left off, Walther?
Yeah, I'm surprised that God of War and Last of Us wasn't on the list. I haven't played any of them myself, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about them, so I thought at least one or both of them would come in on the action adventure.
I can actually speak why I didn't think about Last of Us. Is that the gameplay loop of Last of Us isn't good enough? Like the narrative and the story experience of it is phenomenal, but the way it plays is still just kind of awkward.
But there's a lot of titles from everyone here that I haven't played, so I'll try to play at least one of the games from everyone's list that I haven't done before the game is
awesome.
The year's over.
Awesome. Go ahead, Alaszun.
Yeah. Okay. Since I guess we're actually just recapping all of our titles specifically, I ended up with Elden Ring, Final Fantasy X, BioShock, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and Persona 5. One thing I'm really, really happy about with my list, I think, as a whole, is that I feel like I managed to get a very, very strong lineup of games that have things they want to say or things they want to do with the game. So rather than games that were very, very samey and similar to things that had come before, things that are much more genre and boundary pushing, which is a thing that I really want to reward in video games as a fan, because I want developers to feel empowered to do that. And so I think, other than maybe Smash Brothers, which I just think is the couch co-op game, there's a lot of games that fall into that genre and are very, very good at weaving a story and taking you into their world. For games I'm surprised didn't get drafted, I think I'm a little surprised that nobody else really ventured into the Soulsborne's category in general. I guess probably Bloodborne is the one I might have expected to have seen. But again, that's really dependent on the kind of people that you have in the draft. Other than that, I don't think there's really anything that surprised me by not getting drafted. KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic is the only game I had on my RPG list that didn't get picked. And most of the other categories, I just had like 7 or 8 more titles that I could have gone with if they went away. And it just like it's just a matter of people have different tastes, and so it's not surprising that we didn't really run into each other a ton on a lot of these.
Sure.
Unless you're Zaph. Get fucked, Zaph.
Yeah. Who won?
I think I like Zaph's list here. There's a lot of really, really strong stuff on it. And none of the games that I'm like, I think of the only game that I'm sort of meh on as a whole is Borderlands 2. And it's hard to deny that wasn't a massively popular and influential game. It's just not really my sense of humor or style on the whole.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. For action adventure, I took Breath of the Wild. For RPG, I took Baldur's Gate 3. For shooter, I took Counter-Strike Source. For platformer, I took Super Mario Odyssey. For multiplayer, I took Rock Band 2. And for my wild card, I took Wii Sports. I'm really happy with my draft, basically because I got all my favorites. Like that was my goal. My goal was just to pick all of my favorites, and I got all of them. So I really wanted to get Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't think that. I think most of the games, like Last of Us, I think is a little surprising it didn't get drafted. Maybe Uncharted. Those are pretty popular games as well. And I think looking at everyone's draft, I mean, I love my draft, but I'm gonna go with Shareen. The all Nintendo draft is speaking to me as a Nintendo head. So
Wow.
Congratulations, Shareen.
I think
All
you picked Shareen because of League of Legends, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, Shareen got disqualified at the League of Legends pick for me.
All right, go ahead, Shareen.
Well, did you say anything that you were surprised didn't get picked?
Yeah, Uncharted and Last of Us.
Okay. Yeah. So the Nintendo roster here, plus League of Legends, of Zelda Majora's Mask, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Metroid Prime, Mario Maker 2, Mario Party 3, and then League of Legends. I definitely took a different approach. I was thinking originally more like P-Train. I kind of wanted to pick things more out there, big player base and big effect. And so that's kind of why I started with League of Legends. And I was surprised that, a lot of other games didn't go for a while. Like I think Minecraft was a great pick, World of Warcraft. I think games like that. I kind of viewed the wild card as like, I think that's the genre mostly, like some of those big MMOs and stuff like that. And then after that, I decided to just go with games that I love, and I picked games that I played, which has been mostly Nintendo games. That's why every single round Fear said, "Hey, you play this game?" I said, "Nope." So yeah, happy with my roster. I think I'm a little bit surprised that none of the other Zelda games went beforehand. No Pokemon. And then no like Mario Kart or Racer. I thought there might be one of those.
Yeah, I'm surprised there was no Mario Kart.
I had Double Dash on my multiplayer list, but yeah, I
didn't, but I should have had Double Dash on my multiplayer list.
Yeah, I thought someone would for sure pick one of the carts. And then as far as the winner, I'm kind of between Zaph and TwoC.
Which one?
I'm not upset. Like this is
like the Spire, Zaph has been slain.
Yeah. All right, Zaph.
All right, I'm gonna wrap up. Action adventure. I got Hades. RPG. I have Expedition 33. Shooter. Borderlands 2. Platformer Hollow Knight. Multiplayer World of Warcraft and Wildcard Balatro. I'm gonna take a very interesting. What I was mildly surprised didn't maybe get thrown into the wild card, but I can also see it from maybe this group of people. Animal Crossing was a game that I thought was like COVID influential. I think for people that didn't necessarily play video games, Animal Crossing was also a like, hey, you're stuck inside, here's a world to explore, have fun. And I think in like P-Train was like the objective focused games. That's one where I think for a while you would definitely like do this for a bit and have fun with it. You lose the thread, but it's still very, very fun. There were a couple other ones. I maybe a little bit shocked that like the Final Fantasy VII remake. Death Stranding was actually one that I don't really know anyone else's takes on that level, but that might have been one that I thought. So as for who won the draft that wasn't me, Alaszun pretty much has like if I go down my list of like here are the games I had and like if I can't get this, I want these. He has a ton of the same games, and honestly going in this draft I was really like, if I don't get certain things before him, I'm gonna lose them. So I think I'm gonna give my like favorite that's not me to Alaszun, with TwoC coming in sort of like a close second. And so like obviously I think Slay the Spire and Mass Effect series and Yakuza are some games which like really they are phenomenal in the niches and the spaces that they're in. So
yeah, I thought about Animal Crossing. If Wii Sports had gone, I might have taken it because I was one of those people that spent a ton of time on my island and haven't revisited it in like years. So RIP to all those animals just chilling there. All right, well, geez, that was a long draft. Appreciate you guys all hanging out and doing this. We'll have some voting up for it if anybody wants to share their opinions. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and thank you guys for taking a few hours and doing this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
Enjoyed being here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let us know who you think won the draft. We'll have some sort of voting in the announcements channel. Oh, and just share your thoughts. I know there's a ton of games that we missed. I mean, 25 years of gaming it's hard to cover it all, and everyone here has their own perspective, so they're bringing their perspective, and would love to hear yours. So, well, what games did we miss? And yeah, I think that's going to do it. Alaszun, thanks for hanging out, man. Super appreciate it. Always fun to have you on the drafts.
Always great to be around. Thanks for having me on.
P-Train, thanks for doing your first draft, man. I hope you're happy with your set of team. Zaph, thanks for starting us off with Expedition 33. That was a great way to kick off.
Thank you so much for having me.
Walther, always a fan, and always a pleasure to have you on the show. Shareen bailed, so bye, Shareen. Thanks for coming. TwoC, thanks for filling in last minute. Like everyone else got a plan. You did this off the fly. Super impressive, as always. Do not dominate us this year in Final Fantasy again. Final Fantasy football.
I was just gonna let it go.
Final Fantasy football. Reigning champ. Don't go too hard on us.
Fantasy football is basically an RPG if you think about it.
It sure is.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun. Glad to talk video games with all of you guys.
All right, that's going to do it. Thanks again for listening.